Hi, this is Audrey with the Creator's Attic. I just want to show you a simple thing to do today. It's especially great for those who are beginning because this takes little supplies. So it's actually something that I just simply made, and I'm going to show you how I did it. It's just very simple. I'm going to give you a quick peek and then I'm going to show you how I did it. This was from a very old journal, and I can learn so much by looking back over at my very first journals. If you keep your first few journals, I would suggest, instead of worrying about selling them, or, I mean, you can give them away if you want, but I had to hang on to mine because I really wanted to see what I had done, and I'm so glad I did, because I was able to look back and find a simple idea, put myself back in the shoes of what I was like as a beginner, and this is something I'm sure that even seasoned crafters are used to having. The dreaded white blank page. This is a piece of copy paper that I have folded like I would in a journal. And I'm going to attempt to show you what I used. I was laughing so much at how I've become spoiled with supplies, and now that I have supplies, I don't think about the simple things anymore. But I'm going to show you what I did. Okay, first of all, I had a very, very lightly dyed page back there. But I'm going to try to recreate the look. So we're going to take some antique linen, and I'm going to take one of my big paddle brushes, and very ever so lightly, I'm going to come and just go over this page. I'm knocking that bright white off of it, but I am not, I'm not totally covering it up with any dark colors to where it looks coffee dyed. It just looks aged. May look a little bit more like tea dyed, and I apologize if I'm making you motion sick, moving and trying not to juggle this around, even though my camera is on a stand. It is still moving the table when I do this, but I will be through in just a moment. This is such a quick idea. It's great for those flat pages that you want. It's great to add if it's just a writing page you want in your journal and it's not so much a look page, or if you want to do a combo of both. This is just perfect for you. It's just something that is really a lot of fun. I remembered looking fondly back at that and remembering what a great time I had that day when I went trash diving. Okay, so trash is a great supply. How many of you have packing peanuts? These are very well-loved, well-used packing peanuts. These are probably the same ones that I used on my on my book. So this is what we're going to use today. I'm going to use this to get the effect that I'm looking for. So don't throw these away. At least, you can throw the first, the other 300 of them away, but take out 4 or 5 of these. Keep them. And I'm so glad I did, because now I can go back and show you this effect that I did. Okay, I'm going to take a simple color like this brown color, gathered twigs, and as you can see, I've knocked off this white, but here's a plain white paper, and here's what I have here. So it's just a little bit of difference. And now I'm going to just add a basic frame around. I'm going in with gathered twigs, and I'm just going to ink around just to give it a frame. And I'm just wanting to knock this white back just a little bit more and frame my page in. Did not quite fold that in half. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is just a test page or a demo page, but this would also work with any of your papers. I know, when you take those 12 by 12 scrapbooking papers that are one-sided and you use them, you're all proud that you've used them in your journal, and they look so pretty, and then you start to work in your journal and you flip over and you're like, Oh, the backside that's just stark white. What am I gonna do with it? Well, do something like this with it. Make it into a page that your journaler or your user or you or whomever can write on and still have a lot of interest. And did I say very little supplies? Yeah, I think I did. Okay, yes, and very little supplies. This would be in my book, but I'm going to go along and do it as well. And I'm not really trying to do a whole lot with my outline as far as keeping too much of a straight, worried about these uneven edges. I want it to look like this because this is going to look like a very wispy page. Very wispy page. So I'm done with this as quick as that. Now I'm going to take 3 colors. I'm going to take Tattered Rose, Tea Dye, and Shabby Shutters. You can take any colors that you like. You can stick to one. You can do several. And I'm going to show you the motion that I had. Okay, I just made one of these flat. Just made it flat. And then I dipped it in my ink. But here's the part that I did. I did a twisting motion. I'm going to call it the key turn motion, or the orbit motion, like something orbiting around. And I'm going to go clockwise, just because that's the direction I'm used to going. And okay, and you're not going to push down very hard, because if you do, you're going to get way too much ink on this, and you're going to miss the actual little wispiness of this. Okay, so let's just go down, and I'm just going to alternate. I'm going to first just alternate with the pink and the Shabby Shutters, and I'm not going to rub it around like this. You can if you want, but I'm going to try this. I'm just going to do very light motion around, like I'm just turning the key around. See this wispy little circle I get? And if I want to go around and do it to make it a little bit wider, I can. Okay, so then I'm going to go with my Shabby Shutters, and I'm just going to use the same peanut. Okay, a little bit of cross-contamination coming along here, and I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to continue just to do that a little bit. Okay, there I have that. And I'm going to speed this process up a little bit. I don't know how to speed it up on my video, but I'm sure I'm going to speed it up on this. I'm going to start going every other spot, and so I don't have to keep changing colors, okay? And like again, you don't have to think about this very much, but don't put a lot of pressure on your packing peanut, okay? Give it a break. No, I really want you to get this nice effect. So if you have to just lightly, ever so lightly, just dot it on here and just go around, and just imagine that you're just going to go around with 2 colors, which I'm thinking I'm going to start with now. And I want to give it a little bit of outward motion to where it looks a little bit more orbital, so I may come back and go over some of these, there we go, to make them just a little bit bigger. Probably would help if I had a new packing peanut, but guess what I've been doing? I've been throwing them away. Yes, I've been throwing them away. Bad me, bad crafter. When you get so many supplies, you start forgetting about your junk supplies, your actual junk supplies. Shame on me. Because now I wish I had more of these, because I'm having to use the same ones that I did probably year before last, I guess. It's okay. I'm recycling as I've recycling. Yes, this is recycling. So I'm going to go around and do this. Now you can do this with your dauber around, but you just won't get quite the wispy effect. You'll get more of a flattened look, and it will be much wider. And this is just adding a little bit to my page. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit. I'm going to be less. Actually, I probably should have thought less about this. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back. I'm going to take my Shabby Shutters, and I'm going to do the same thing. And remember, don't push too hard, because if you push too hard, you're going to get way too much ink, and you're going to lose that wisp. So just almost like a little wrist flick. Just give it a little wrist flick almost. See how my wrist is doing? Okay, now, there we go. See, maybe I was paying too much attention to going around. Maybe it just needs a half turn. There we go. Don't make it look too, well, dip it in the correct color first of all. And just don't think too much about it. Don't think too much about it. That's the big part. You want to be laid back with this motion, and you just want to have fun with this page because this is a junk journal. There are no rules. You can kind of put that in with a little, it almost sounds like I'm trying to say an Outback saying, but it is. There are no rules. It's only paper. You can't mess it up. And with this look, you definitely can't mess it up because this is a look that's just has a little bit of a laid back look. Okay, now see how some of my dots were not quite connecting? I connected those on the other page, I believe, by coming in with just a very light brown. I'm going to go in with tea dye. I don't remember what I did before on the other, but I'm just going to take tea dye and I'm going to come and I'm going to go through where these don't look as connected. I'm going to come through and just do a little bit intermittently between there. Not adding too much. I don't want to darken it too much. But I'm getting this really cool effect of just a very light-hearted look. And you don't have to do it between all of them if you don't want to. You don't even have to do this at all. But it just really kind of pulls them all together so it doesn't look like you, whoa, well that looks like a little bit of kitty. Maybe I got a little too whimsical there. It just gives it a little bit of a look that just kind of blends the two together so it doesn't look so much like polka dots. It looks more just like a nice wispy frame. You don't even have to dunk it in the ink every time. It'll stay on there for a couple of twirls. Oop, there, do that one. And I'm just kind of joining these together a little bit just to add a little bit more of a wispiness around the page. Okay, and this was back when I did not have a lot of, or when this is when I really enjoyed going to the thrift store. Okay, so we have this. Okay, now, if you want to come in and just kind of put a little bit more on the edge, just to kind of bring those these wispy marks in and just kind of knock a little bit more of that white off and just join these, you can do that. I'm going to do that. Got a little too wispy wisp here. It didn't quite go on the edge. Pay attention to the edge. Okay. All right, so here I have this. Now, when I went to the thrift stores, I used to pick up every little paper pad that I can find, and you could find them so super cheap. Okay, so this is the one that the prototype, again. And it looks actually this actually looks quite different from this page, but it's still the same thing that I did. So here I have this. And I'm going to, let's see, okay. These little sheets, I found these little sheets, and there was just a stack of them, and they're just, I guess, went in one of those little desk books like this. What I did was just cut out where the holes were, and I cut off this little writing down here, and these were coffee dyed. You don't have to have yours coffee dyed. You can knock it back with some ink. If you'd like. I'm going to take this though, and I'm going to round the corners. So this little cheap corner rounder thing that I have. And again, you don't have to round your corners either. You can tear around it too if you want, or if you want to use a book page or something. But I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take my glue magazine and my glue stick, and I'm just going to go around all the edges very well. You could use another type of glue for this. You could use just like your art glitter glue or a wet white just craft glue. But I will tell you that I would probably apply it very lightly so it doesn't wrinkle your little note page or your journal page, okay? Because of that wet white glue definitely will get to make your page get wet, and then it will, what am I trying to say? It will warp your paper. Of course, this looks like it went through the battle of the bulge here, but okay. We're just gonna try to lay it down in center somewhere. So I just really want to show you the idea. I'm not going to be using this page in any of my journals. I'm just kind of recreating the idea that I had before. Okay, so just kind of putting it down for center. And then I thought I have to do something now to make this even prettier, this page. So I had ordered a bunch of these washi stickers. And I think it was one of those deals where you go on Amazon and you try to find as many washi stickers for the least amount that your budget will allow you when you're like, am I going to start doing this junk journaling thing? Am I all in? I'm not quite sure. So that was kind of, I think, when I was really deciding whether I was really going to go all in or if I was just going to kind of dip my toe in it. And I think I just ended up going all in. Yeah, I think that happened. And but I did start off being somewhat frugal. Okay, I'm just going to take this and washi sticker and just separate it from the page. And I'm just going to run my dauber over the top of it with some of that little leftover brown ink that I have on it, just to kind of dirty it a little bit. And if I don't rip it, and I'm just going to put it in the center page for something pretty. So just have a little something pretty up there. Maybe I didn't quite darken it enough for me. Because this paper is dark, I don't want to darken it too much, but I do want to knock a little bit of that shine. So I have this. I mean, not shine, a little bit of that, what am I going for here? I'm drawing a blank. I guess I'm trying to knock off some blank space. I guess that could go either way. Okay, whatevs. All right, and then I just had some of these little words. You don't have to have these little words. I think these are Tim Holtz Clippings sticker book, and it just has these little words. I'm going to pick a word that may inspire someone. You could stamp a word, write a word. You don't have to put a word at all. Just think about maybe something that you could put on the page. So I'm going to put, let's see, what do I want to put? I think on the other one I put the word, let me look. It really doesn't matter, but it was a prompt word that really just kind of left an open-ended thing for someone to write. Just a record to leave behind is what I put down. How about I dream of going back? Okay, so maybe I want to write a memory on here. I am going to go over these little glues, a little glue here, and I'm going to stick it in the center here. And you can put, you can do whatever you want. You can, this lends itself to so many different things. Okay, I have some of these little smaller stickers, so let's see. Maybe I want to put a few of those on here. Let's see what I have. I'm just kind of doing this on the fly. Doing it on the fly. Just thought I'd bring you along on a little simple journey. I haven't done a video in about a week or so, and I wanted to put something on, so if anybody wanted a little bit of inspiration to do something pretty simple, they could. Or just get an idea of just what to do with that blank white page. And now I'm overthinking this way too much. Just want to put a little bit of something on either side of this word. Okay, here are two stickers that are about the same size, look to have the same coloring. You can put, you could do this so many different ways. These washi stickers either the whole thing wants to come out, because these were super cheap. They're really pretty, but they were super cheap. So sometimes the whole window wants to come out. Put a little bit of brown ink on it. And they do have a good bit of stick on though, so that's good. See how I can do this. Yeah. These may have been a little bit, let's kind of frame my word. Maybe a little bit too big, but that's okay. I'm just, demo purposes, I'm just actually going to take it and just go ahead and, which one am I going to use? This one? I'm just going to go ahead and ink it while it's still on the page. Okay. So I have another couple of videos that will be coming out that will be, they will have a little bit more to them than this one, but this is definitely something that is good to have in your back pocket when you just come to a screeching halt with a white page. Okay, and you just really want to do something kind of different. Okay, so I have this. Now I'm looking at my other one, and this one I had some little flat back pearls, and I think I just may use a little piece of trim this time, maybe to go around the top. Let's see, that was some trim, but that's kind of, I don't really know what I want to do. I may just come back in, because it doesn't take a lot. These are little scraps, so maybe I would just want to come and just use this little scrap here. So that's what I'm gonna do, because it's just a scrap, and I'm just making a simple page. So let's see, I'm gonna bring in my Fabrifix, and I think I'm going to lay it. I kind of want to do a little bit of a curve motion, I think, with this, and just kind of make it fit. So I'm going to put the glue actually on this little scrap that I had. This is just a little piece of trim that I had left over, and I keep these in a little box, and then when I want them, I can just go back and use them. Okay, I may not need all of this, and again, this is a wispy page. I don't want it to look like I gave it too much effort. I just want it to be like I went with the wind, okay? Just want to be like I went with the wind and just had a good time, which is what we're doing, right? Okay, so I have a little bit of overhang here. So let me grab my scissors. This might add a little bit of bulk to the page, but you're still going to have a flat page, even if you do got a little trim like this in. Okay, so I have this. Now I can leave it like this if I want and call it a day. I can come back around with my my antique linen if I want, and kind of blend it in to blend this part here between the edges of my little swirls and my coffee dyed page. You don't have to do this. You can just, I'm just thinking on the fly while I'm doing this. Actually, I know why this looks a little funny. I was thinking, what did I do? I forgot to ink around the edges of this page. So this, okay, so I inked around the edges of this one, but I actually got to talking and forgot to ink around the edges of this one. So I'm just going to leave it like this. So this is what you can do. You can leave it like this. It's pretty. You can write on it. It's inviting. It's whimsical. It was fun. Okay, you can leave it like that. Or you can go back in and do a little bit more work with it. I'm going to grab this antique paste, and this is by Pentart. And I think I'm just going to try to bring in a little bit of gold, especially since I forgot to do around the edges, and so I'm going to just add a little bit more of an interest around. I'm using finger tool here. I just make sure that you don't stick your hands in your mouth. I haven't died from using this yet. May have some long-term effects. We don't know. I'm just using it. I'm just using a little light coating of it just to add a little bit of a gold, just to try to draw in, since I have the gold up here. And I forgot to put in and I don't know if you can see that, but it adds a little bit of shimmer effect there to the edges. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I can't, it's not like I can rip it off of here and ink it out now, can I? I guess I could, but I think it's pretty dry by now. So I'm just gonna kind of go along here and do my edges. Okay. And just give it up, just put a little few here in the middle, just to kind of make it look a little bit wispy. Okay, and I have this. Okay, so this is just a simple idea for this. I think I had some flatback pearls on mine. I don't have any flatback pearls sitting around, but I think I do have some. Oh, I think I do have some liquid pearls somewhere. Let me see. Okay, where are you? Okay, here they are. This is my little spare box that I have of liquid pearls. So, see, I think I've just grabbed the gold. Definitely put this back on my ink pad. And I'm going to do a little bit of interest here. Oh, I think this may be the gold with the cruddy tip. It is. Okay. Let's see. Redo. Next. Okay. Here's another gold. I don't even think it's been used, but it works. Test them out before you use them on your journals, which sometimes if you push too hard, you don't get them started, they'll just splat out all over the page. So I'm just simply using gold, and I'm just going to add a little bit more interest to my edges. And since I didn't do the frame around here, I can add a little bit more interest. Up, down. Just going to kind of go around. It is so easy to get carried away with these things. They are so much fun to use. And almost inevitably, I put my fingers in them. Okay, they say down, up, down, up. That is a good rule of thumb, but quite often, it's not. You'll still get little tails, and it's not necessarily because you didn't do down, up. It could be that your liquid pearls are drying out. Okay, that's another thing, and I stuck my finger in that. Okay, to correct or not to correct, I think I have enough time. I'm gonna just, I already had gold wisp there. Okay, it's happening, this does happen. All right, I had a little bit of gold up there, so I don't think it'll be noticeable. I'm just gonna go back and do a little bit over that. Okay, and here we go. I could keep going around the edges here if I wanted to, or I could just leave it like this, and I'm just going to leave it alone and leave it with you. I hope you, find value in this video, and it's giving you an idea just to do with something to do to tackle a white page and to use up a little bit of that, to recycle some of those recyclables, recycle that styrofoam. Okay, so here's what I have now, and here's what my prototype. So if you found value, please hit like on my video. And if you have any comments or questions, you can comment, and I will try to answer your questions. I also have an Etsy shop called The Creator's Attic. There should be a link on my channel as well. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, please. I'm always putting out new videos, and I would really like to have you come along for the ride. Come along, you can look, you can lurk, you can just do another different type of craft with me, or you can craft along with me or just be inspired. Anyway, I hope you have a great one, and happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.